they're often called the boxer's muscle because of their action, action like this. So if you look at boxers, especially some of the lighter weight guys, they're really, really well defined. They'll have very obvious serratus anterior muscles from how they make their living. So anyway, I don't really say too much about that one. Okay, let's do this one just for a sec. So here's the pec majors, here's the deltoids, but let's reflect that off and let's look at the scapular muscles. There's the teres major, there's the teres minor, the subscapularis, infraspinatus, the supraspinatus. They take their names just from the layers of the bone they're found attached to. Here's the biceps, bi meaning two, because look, it's got two heads, connected up here onto the scapula. The teres major, and actually that shoulder model over there next to our old attendance computer, actually, you know what, I'll get it, because it's got all the muscles that you really sort of need for a thing called the rotator cuff. But let me just show these to you right now since I've got them. Obviously, a little different in cats. This is the spine of the scapula. So this muscle up here would be the supraspinatus, obviously. This muscle down here would be the infraspinatus, subscapularis. And the big muscle here along this border is the teres major. The smaller one here is teres minor. Now, you don't have to find the teres minor on a cat, just the teres major. And most of you know where it is now. If you pull back the latissimus dorsi, it's that big muscle that's right on the edge of the scapula, and then you put your finger back there and you're here on the subscapularis. So when you're doing this, it's like, oh yeah, I got it now. Because now the cat's kind of upside down. You go, okay, so this is the teres major, yeah. So what's this big muscle back here? Oh yeah, subscapularis. You got your finger back up. So, but there's an important group of muscles up here in the arm that I want to talk to you about. I'll come back to that picture. But it's the muscles which form a group called the rotator cuff. And you can see what they are. It's the supra and infraspinatus, the subscapularis, but it's the teres minor, not the teres major, that form the rotator cuff. And this is a group of muscles that is not uncommonly injured in athletes who make their living throwing things, like the football or especially the baseball. Right? And a rotator cuff injury, a tear or a pull of the rotator cuff, can certainly be a season-ending injury and perhaps even a career-ending injury. Right? So these are the muscles which make up the rotator cuff. So where are they on here? One more time. So here's the infra, here's the supra, here's the teres minor, and there's the subscapularis. Huh? So what? Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not. It's on the bottom. You changed it. I just wanted to. Mary, I want to delete that. This gets posted on Facebook. I don't want to sound like the dumbest anatomy here on the planet. Oh, Hill, I take my class. My God, I don't know top from bottom.
You just was testing Maddie. That's what you were doing.
Excuse me?
You were testing Maddie.
That's right. Exactly. And she passed.
She passed. Yeah.
All right. Let's do that one more time. Supraspinatus. My brain was ahead of my finger. Supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, subscapularis. That's the rotator cuff. Whew. All right, let's go back one slide. So here they are. Gosh, thank you. So supra, infra, teres minor, and then on the back, subscapularis. And so it's this sort of motion. So, and of course you can see it on this back view, the triceps. And also this big, huge muscle back there, the latissimus dorsi, which is very nice. All right, so we got that. And these pictures, I don't really want to do much with them because they're kind of small, they're hard to see. Even working with the arms and legs are better than these pictures. But the flexors and the extensors, the ones you got to know. One of them that sort of hides on you and maybe a little difficult to find, I'll just point it out. I know it's on our model. Is this muscle way up here, the coracobrachialis? It's kind of hiding way up here. But it's labeled on all our models. And the biceps, and here's the various flexors, of course the extensors are on the other side. I have a couple of pictures we'll go through. Now this just shows the biceps, and also the coracobrachialis, and bis because it's got two heads. When you see some of those pictures in the bodybuilder magazines, you know, it's like, yeah, you can see the two heads. On most of us, you see one head. We're not that well defined. This just shows you the, you know, muscles here and more. These are, of course, the flexors. Oh, one of the things, actually, I don't do it, but I know a couple of, at least one other anatomy instructor has her students, when they're doing the cats, dissect down in the paw. I was going to say the hand of the cat, but you would have figured that out. The paw of the cat, you can actually see this thing called the retinaculum, which is sort of the connective tissue that sort of holds everything together in our wrist. And that area around the retinaculum, in this area here, I don't know if our cadaver's hand is well dissected. We'll see. But when you look at a cadaver hand or a human hand, you can understand a little bit about why we get things like carpal tunnel syndrome and things like that, overuse injuries, because the number of tendons and the arrangement of them as they go through the wrist is quite remarkable. How the architecture is put together, but it's pretty crowded in there. So overuse injuries leading to things like carpal tunnel syndrome can really be a problem. You know, typically if you get that, they tell you to, all kinds, don't do what you're doing, muscle relaxants and things like that, anti-inflammatory.
Is there any way to like reduce that, to prevent it?
Yeah, well, there's all kinds of little appliances and things that